Welcome back to Mwaki Insights. Today, we dive into the simmering conflict between Bangladesh and India over the Teesta River. Adding fuel to the fire is China's increasing influence in the region, making this dispute a geopolitical flashpoint. If you're passionate about global issues and geopolitics, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon for our in-depth weekly content. The Teesta River, a lifeline for millions of farmers in both Bangladesh and India, has become the focus of a decades-long diplomatic deadlock. Flowing from the Indian state of West Bengal into Bangladesh, the river is crucial for irrigation on both sides. Yet, the two nations have never formalized an agreement on water sharing. India, especially West Bengal, argues that it needs the water for its own farmers, while Bangladesh claims it's being shortchanged. Diplomatic talks have been stalled, largely due to local political pressures, especially from West Bengal. The lack of a formal water-sharing agreement has heightened tensions, with internal Indian politics playing a major role. West Bengal's Chief Minister, Mamata Banerjee, has consistently opposed a deal that could reduce water flow to her state, despite Indian leadership promising progress. For Bangladesh, the insufficient water supply threatens food security, particularly in its northern districts that depend on the river. The Teesta River dispute is further compounded by the unpredictable impacts of climate change. Erratic monsoons and rapid glacial melt from the Himalayas have affected water flow, leaving both nations vulnerable to seasonal extremes. Some years bring devastating floods, while others suffer from droughts, making it even harder for the two countries to reach a sustainable water-sharing agreement. Both sides are grappling with how to secure their agricultural futures in this volatile environment. Climate models predict that South Asia will face more frequent and severe weather disruptions, with river flows becoming even less reliable due to melting glaciers and changing monsoon patterns. Bangladesh, being downstream, is particularly vulnerable to water shortages and floods. As India grapples with internal divisions, Bangladesh has increasingly turned to China as an alternative partner. China has invested heavily in Bangladesh, including in water management infrastructure, as part of its Belt and Road initiative. This growing relationship is raising alarms in New Delhi. For India, China's involvement in Bangladesh represents a strategic challenge. While Bangladesh sees Beijing as a counterweight to India's influence, India fears that this could tip the balance of power in South Asia. China's investments in Bangladesh include large-scale infrastructure projects, such as the Padma Bridge, which strengthens Bangladesh's economy and water infrastructure. From India's perspective, China's growing foothold in the region could jeopardize its influence, especially in light of ongoing tensions over water sharing. Enjoying this deep dive into the geopolitics of South Asia? If you want to stay informed on global issues, hit that subscribe button. We bring you comprehensive updates every week on the world's most critical conflicts. Water disputes are no longer just environmental issues, they're quickly becoming weapons in the geopolitical arena. As climate change accelerates water shortages, nations like Bangladesh and India may find themselves in more confrontational positions. Bangladesh, dependent on water from rivers originating in India, faces the risk of being squeezed if India uses its upstream position to control water flow. If no agreement is reached, there's a growing fear that this issue could escalate, drawing in other powers like China. A 2024 report warns that water scarcity could trigger conflicts in South Asia, particularly if nations like India use their upstream control to pressurize downstream countries like Bangladesh. If Bangladesh seeks further assistance from China, it could heighten regional tensions, leading to a broader geopolitical crisis. In the broader picture, the future of South Asia's geopolitical landscape will likely be defined by water diplomacy. India and Bangladesh must navigate their differences, but China's growing influence means that the balance of power is shifting. As populations grow and climate change intensifies, water will become one of the most valuable resources, with potential to spark conflicts not only between nations, but also within regional alliances. India must decide, compromise on water, or risk losing its influence in South Asia. The interplay between India's internal politics, Bangladesh's reliance on external powers like China, and regional water diplomacy will shape the geopolitical dynamics of South Asia. Water scarcity, amplified by climate change, will be a defining issue for the region's future stability and power structure. Thank you for watching. The Teesta River dispute is just one example of how critical water resources have become in shaping the geopolitics of the future. If you found this video insightful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Milwaukee Insights for more in-depth global analyses.